Hello, Formation Alpha here, and we are actually going to be doing something quite different in today's episode. We're actually going to be doing a MUKBANG, which is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, but it's where people just eat and talk about, upcoming things that are happening. We kind of, because we are, we are kind of gamers. We do like to eat fast food. I know I do. And what better fast food to eat than McDonald's?
Yeah.
I wish they could sponsor, but they didn't. But we have lots of different food going on here. We have a few McDubs, a few fries, and a few nuggets, of course. So let's introduce everyone. My name is Jerry Galindo, and we'll start from the left.
Okay, I'm Brandon Castellanos.
I'm Jenny Galindo.
Kyle Castillo.
Franco's Ramos. I have a nugget.
Yeah.
Brian started eating already.
I'm hungry. Shut
Our
up.
food's getting cold.
Do we start?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can definitely
Okay,
start.
Okay, so what's the first topic?
Okay, well, that's the thing. So I was going to we were going to talk about, upcoming Switch games like the controversy Nintendo LABO. Is it a game? Is it a cardboard, piece of garbage Nintendo's trying to throw at us?
I like it.
We'll talk about some controversy around some upcoming PlayStation first-party games like Detroit Become Human. The developers are pissed off because something's happening with their living conditions. Who cares? You're a developer.
This is my first time hearing about that. Talk a little about the controversy with that.
All right. Well, first off, I want to say I love ranch and I love my buffalo. And on the it's okay. It's fine. I have like 10 ranches. Also, we'll be making some mouth noises in front of the mics because
we'll be doing some ASMR.
That's what mukbangs are about. So the living conditions of some of these developers in this new Quantic Dream that are making Detroit Become Human, they're saying there's a racist and sexist bosses going around. They're having crazy work weeks where they're not even able to go home.
But I think that's kind of normal from what I've seen. That's very normal for game developers, especially when you're getting close to the release date.
Exactly. Lots of people were saying, well, that's what you're working in the gaming industry. You should already know that stuff happens.
Part of the job.
Having experience working in the news business, I mean, it's different. News business and games.
But it's still
News business and gaming business I know they're different, but I mean, the news business, it was just if news happened, or breaking news happened, it was up to you to go out and get it. It really wasn't a 9-to-5 job. It was just whenever they needed you. So I imagine being a game developer could probably be, the same guidelines or follow the same guidelines where it's just that they need you, especially like you said before game release. I don't know when the game's going to be released, but that's the case. I imagine that they're kind of, on a time crunch trying to finish it on time.
And I kind of thought something like that was already happening because when we saw gameplay of that game at that PS4 conference just a month ago, it didn't look that good. There was a lot of stuttering.
Really?
They were having issues controlling the characters.
I didn't see that.
I'm very worried too because that last trailer we got was a very different tone from the first trailer. And I'm like, okay, what audience are they trying to bring in with this trailer?
There are definitely some creative differences, and I hope, it's all gets settled by release because it looks like a good game.
It does, yeah. And it'd be a shame for it not to be a good game, because I'm sure a lot of time has been put into this game. And I'm not, endorsing, hey, work long hours, slave away, but, it sucks, but some jobs call for that.
And if it's a passion project, you shouldn't be complaining about things like that in the first place.
Staying late, that's part of the job.
I'll let you guys get it. I don't plan on playing it. It doesn't interest me enough.
Really?
Yep.
I will get it.
I was really excited for it when I saw the first trailer, and then the second trailer made me less excited for it.
Really?
It means if it's one of those interactive movie type games, then I don't know, I'm a bit iffy on those types of games.
Because it gets to the point where how much gameplay am I really putting into the game? What separates it from being a memorable gaming experience to just a movie playing on my TV? That's why that genre is kind of hard to talk about.
Exactly.
Especially games like Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, which are the other two games. It gets to a point where you're like, well, what am I playing? Is this a movie?
I heard they're really good though.
They're really good.
I liked Heavy Rain, and I wasn't crazy about Life is Strange. That one was just so much dialogue.
It was. it gets to the point where you're like, it's a movie. Like, basically, I can leave it on there for a while.
Okay, if it's really, an intriguing story, I can do just dialogue. I've played my share of games and watched my share of movies where it's just pure dialogue. But, I mean, it's so, the story's so rich. I love it. So
yeah. It's like The Witcher, because I've been seeing you play it.
Well, okay.
And, like, there's a lot of dialogue,
there's action also. There's plenty of action in The Witcher
yeah,
also.
it's not just a story.
Like Metal Gear. Metal Gear had a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reason that I don't really care for Detroit. Unlike Metal Gear, Metal Gear has its own gameplay mechanics, whereas Detroit Become Human kind of looks like a choice base. Kind of like Until Dawn. And Until Dawn, it looked cool, but I honestly don't see a lot of replay value in the game. That's just me, though.
I get you. Besides, choice making and maybe moving your character around, not much you can really do. There's no strategic way to play it. I get you.
You also have like a background in film, right? So that also contributes to your liking of the genre.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If someone's like plays COD every day, and they're like, "Hey, why is there so much talking? I just want to shoot things," and that's obviously not going to be their target demographic. Well, I mean, we've kind of talked about that, but should we move on to, upcoming Nintendo games like Nintendo LABO?
Yeah, I'm actually, who wants to start with that? I'm really excited about that. Who wants to start with that one?
I've heard this on the podcast before, but I feel like games that are targeted to inspire the minds of tomorrow, we need more of that today. It could have been so easy for Nintendo to, say, hey, there's a lot of like kids that are like 10 or like 5 playing hardcore shooters. Let's go into that genre, or let's hire a third party to come and do that. But they kind of really did their Nintendo thing, which is think outside the box. Think outside the cardboard box, literally. They kind of, did this whole crazy initiative where they're making 2 boxes. One's going to be a variety pack, which is going to come with, a house, a piano, a fishing rod. This sounds ridiculous saying it out loud. And then the second box is going to be a robot kind of crazy suit that a kid could wear or an adult could wear, where it's actually tracking their motions in the game. I'm kind of disappointed that those 2 bundles are going to be separate. And
they're both very expensive.
And they're both one's $69 and the other one is $79. That is insanity. Come on. That's ridiculous.
It is.
Just make it all one big box for $80. I'm perfectly fine paying that. But obviously they have to do that because they're Nintendo and every first party game needs to be over 70.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's really cool. It's so interesting the way it works. Like when I saw the video, I was kind of like, wait, how does this all work? And then they showed that it uses the Joy-Con's motion sensor to kind of track where the fingers are. So what's everyone's opinion on that? I think it's amazing, and I mean I don't care if it's for a kid. I'm still just hyped for it.
I'm really excited for it. I think, especially now, where a lot of the youth you see where, I'm not talking about video games, first-person shooters are the norm for, a lot of the youth. But I think just creativity is something the youth is lacking now. When I was a kid, I played my video games, but I loved playing outside. You gave me a box. I mean, there were so many things I could do with that box, So that was I made a fort out of it. Yeah, and I feel like that's something a lot of kids today are, lack, or they're not introduced, they're glued to their TV or their phones. And when I saw that, again, took me back to my childhood, those days where, making something out of a box, or, drawing was, what I used to do. So I think it'll spark a lot of interest in kids. And like you said, I mean, I feel like it can encourage kids to, maybe pursue a career in that, whether it be ingenuity or... I think it's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because it's not just about the game, because I'm sure half of the time it's going to be them building it, and then they also have those little decorative, box add-ons where you can put stickers and markers. That got me really excited because I was like, that's cool. I like to personalize stuff.
And granted, the layout's given to you. You still add your own creative touch to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's cool. I like it a lot.
So my initial thought was, wow, this is freaking cool. This is such a Nintendo thing to do. It's so them.
Yeah.
And then I was reading the comments, and there was so many people hating on it, and I was like, they teased it as a game for kids. It's for kids and adults who are like kids. That's kind of how, like roughly.
What do you think?
Excuse me, how they said it.
The
But
whole,
It's like, well, what do they want, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. What do you guys
the whole
think?
setting up part, it kind of reminds me like imagine Legos, but just with boxes, and then you just get to play
Yeah.
with it.
I love Legos
It's gonna
too.
be long lasting, especially with boxes. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I can see as an adult or like someone that's already played other games that after a while I'm gonna be like, okay, now I build all these things. What's the replay value in it? But for a kid, you know, they can't separate that. They're gonna build it. They're like, okay, I'm gonna play it every day now. Like it's so fun.
But, like, it's something they made. You
Yeah,
know,
it's something
I
they
think it adds more, sentimental value to it.
Brian, you're kind of a hardcore gamer. What do you think about it?
I'm eating, so that's why I'm very quiet. But no, I really think it's cool. It's really intuitive, and like I said, like I think a lot of kids will enjoy it, just like making things like that. Because, like Brandon said, I was around when Brandon had all these Bionicle sets. We'd have to go out and find every last Bionicle, and he would be there for like 2 hours or an hour. 2 hours was on the first one because he didn't know what he was doing, but over time, like he got it down to like 10 minutes for Bionicle.
I think one
sorting
time,
the pieces and
I
everything.
think when Jimmy Neutron came out, I didn't go to the movies because I want to make a new Lego set I got, right?
Yeah.
The big robot, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been to Legos, so... I mean, this is not Legos, but it's just the fact that you're building something.
is like Legos
It's
in a
awesome.
way.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and so I think it's super cool too because I know I'm not gonna have to buy it because I know he's gonna buy it.
No.
Yeah.
So
you are.
that's the best part.
Yeah, I'm thinking too, like, I'd like to do some kind of video or experiment on Bruce. Because he's kind of in that young,
Yeah, and and unfortunately, he's all about Call of Duty or
if
Assassin's
we can
Creed.
take him off Call of Duty for a couple milliseconds and actually, interact with these weird, like, game module cardboard things, I'd be really surprised. They'd be like, wow, they did their job right. And instead of really...
Maybe we could do a video on it, like a review style.
Yeah, I
video.
would love
Yeah.
to. I mean, I already know I'm buying the robot one, and hell, if I have to buy the variety pack too, then sorry Nintendo, you're just gonna have to, rip me a new one because I will buy it. It's
I'm
stupid.
gonna buy it.
And now that I have a job, I just feel like my job's main purpose right now is to pay for anything Nintendo related because I already have like all other stuff.
Yes.
My only thing is that Nintendo's always been good about like introducing new ideas and releasing games. You know what they always sucked at? Stocking the stores with it.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, hello, the NES Classic, like, it still can't be found in stores. Like,
No,
they made
it's
this-
done.
Yeah, I
No
know,
more.
but
It's
they,
done.
like, the fact that they just stopped it, even when there was so much hype around it and
Nope.
people still wanted it, they just canceled it. Like, it's really,
And
really.
then look at the Switch release.
Yeah, I know. That was like 5 months of just people relying on word of mouth on when.
And that's because they still sell out. Like we went to Best Buy today. The DS section and the
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
section were completely empty.
Even
Yeah.
3DSs. I was like,
All
wow.
3DSs.
That's crazy.
There's practicalities behind Nintendo LABO that I'm still kind of, iffy about.
Like what?
It's cardboard. So basically that means that if I'm a little too rough with it, I'm not a kid. I'm a boy. I'm a man.
I'm a man.
So
You went from kid to boy to man in like 2 seconds. Calm down.
Yeah, I feel that sometimes, I'm a little too rough with my toys. So I feel that I might, break a cardboard piece. Or I might
Well,
just get frustrated when
That's where creativity comes again. How do you fix it?
I know, right? Well, Nintendo, the weird thing about this little bit of controversy, IGN interviewed someone that was responsible for Nintendo LABO, and they said, so what happens if someone rips their set? Or what happens if a set gets used too much? So they said, you could call us, we'll do a one-time transaction of like $10 or $5, and we'll send you the cardboard kits.
That's cool.
And then
Okay.
a couple weeks after, or a couple of days after that interview, Nintendo contacted IGN to have the article taken down. Nintendo said, right now we have no plans for future, cardboard's individual sales.
Yeah.
And Altered Board thinking now, so do they just expect us to make a new, to just buy a whole new set? That kind of gets me a little aggravated. And they said, we don't have no plans to, release our sets online so people can, trace them and stuff. So I'm kind of thinking, what are the Etsy's and the people that do 3D printing? What are the practicalities around those people? Making their own kind of toys to work with. Because if it was up to me, I would have made it plastic. Foldable plastic or something like that, more durable. But I guess that's for
It would have been more expensive too.
Yeah.
I guess that's for Nintendo to decide and for us to know. It's 4/20, so that's when it comes out, April 20th. And
Nice.
I'm kind of excited.
Speaking of
Nintendo
420,
LABO?
Just please.
What?
It's 420.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of 420, God of War comes out 420.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that? So I'm very
Got
excited.
that new trailer.
The show was really good. It was really good. Again, like you said, I'm a big movie buff, and God of War looks really cinematic. I'll be honest, I've played some of the first one, some of the second one, some of the third one, haven't really beaten them, but I do get a different feel from this God of War. And I mean, Brian, I know you're a big, Greek mythology, Norse mythology.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know this probably has you psyched,
I'm very
more than
invested
anything.
Are you annoyed by the kid?
I'm not.
I hate kids.
Okay.
From what we see, though, he's gonna be a big part of
Yeah,
it.
he's gonna be
He's
a
like
main
the-
part of the
He's gonna
story.
die.
But I think it's humanizing Kratos. Kratos was like
Yeah.
this brute in the first 3 games
I
that I
like
played.
brutes.
Well, you
And-
see, in God of War 1, you realize like the reason he becomes Kratos and the reason he becomes the God of War is because he wants to kill Ares. Because he was a servant of Ares, and then Ares sent him on a mission, and during that mission, Ares filled him with rage, and he killed his wife and his kid.
Who?
Kratos.
Oh, okay.
And
In
that's
the
why,
game?
yeah, and so that's why he fights Ares in the first one and becomes the God of War.
Okay, he kills
Killed
Ares, yeah.
Yeah. So he's always had this
Oh, she's
vendetta.
That was a bitch.
where he had this vendetta where he wanted to kill the God of War because the God of War took away his family. And so he's always had, like Ryan said, he's always been this brute because he's always been angry with the gods and like, why would they let it happen? And so now with this one, he's
Excuse me.
stern and strict, but he has a soft spot for kids, and I can see that, based off the first
Yeah.
one.
I
like how-
I
I'm
love
sorry.
men like that.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Like rough in the bedroom, mess with the kids.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sure.
Jerry,
I'm
please.
just saying.
Jerry, we have children now.
Oh, I know. We have a
Yeah.
cat. in the
Mally,
audience.
cover your ears.
Cover your ears, Valley. What were you gonna say, Jen? You like rough guys?
That's not what I said.
Okay.
No, it's not.
You like rough, like.
I said, I like how you can already kind of see the conflict that's going to happen from the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
Where the girl, I'm not sure who that girl is, but she's like, you do know, like, he's gonna grow up with this conflict in him because he doesn't know who you are yet. He doesn't know who he is yet. And I don't know. I
And
think
she's
that's
gonna
cool.
make him decide who's more important, me or the kid.
That's
No.
No.
I hate that. No.
No, to get
So-
that vibe.
From the first trailer,
That's what I
I was a little
I hope they don't
unsure
play that
if this was going to be an entirely new God of War, like a reboot, or a sequel. But it looks like a sequel, right?
Looks like a sequel, like way later
It's
on.
like a sequel, but you don't need to play the previous games to understand, which I like because
As of so far, yes.
Right?
But if you want to get the backstory,
lore,
the lore, I would say play
I
the
guess
other
it
one.
really. It's like, okay, I didn't play the first 3 Halos, but I played Part 4, which I thought was a good game. But like I said, I'm sure I would have been more enticed and
Yeah, you would have been
conflicted by the story if I played the first 3. Yeah.
Spoilers.
So I'm sure it's gonna be the same way.
Played Halo 4.
That was on the 360. We're on the 1X now. Come on.
Yeah.
No,
One
well,
X.
I'm thinking of getting a 1X if I get a 4K monitor, but it's all in development. I'm still I want to see what they're making in 2018.
Yeah, that's awesome. What games are you gonna play on your 1X?
Did we talk
There's
about
a good YouTube app, and
What?
I'll just
They have
play.
a solid app
And I'll play
section.
a PS4 gameplay of The Last of Us, and I'll
Yeah.
just impress
What you
myself.
want to talk about, John?
I really think if Xbox doesn't bring anything again to E3 this year,
That's it.
I am done.
They already said no Halo 6 in 2018. What
Thank
the hell?
God.
Nintendo already bought off Xbox's booth last year at E3.
Like,
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and the way they were I'd understand if Xbox was like, hey, we're going through some tough times right now. Why doesn't everyone come in the booth and let's make it a fun experience? They were kicking people out, and I was like, you guys are in the South Hall. You're not even in the West Hall.
Yeah.
Go screw yourself. You
Yeah.
have no purpose to be all exclusive.
Xbox has shut down Sony projects. There was one game called Scalebound.
Yeah.
I was looking forward
I
to
did
that.
too.
Super excited for it. Nah.
Yeah, it looked like, okay, I'm a huge
gonna
fan
make
of
Halo
Devil May
Wars
Cry.
2
It looked like
instead.
the new Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
I'm
with dragons.
I'm down, yeah.
Yeah, that looked badass. But for them to be like, nah. I'm
I
like,
will make Halo Wars 2
Yeah,
instead.
true, yeah.
This looked like a strong first party game of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, exactly.
For
yes.
the Xbox Series.
It's like a new franchise.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get away from the Halo and Gears of War.
Yeah. And earlier they released that they're remastering Fable, and that's cool. Like, Fable's a great game, but it's like we still don't have any original, like, new content to bring to the Xbox. And, like, you can't get people pumped up with remastering.
I feel like they're focusing on the wrong things. You know? Like, one for sure was making a new system. That focus should have gone to a new game or a new franchise.
Yep.
And then it doesn't help that they were pushing the whole, okay, every Xbox game will now be on Windows, which crushed Xbox sales. Like, when they made that announcement, everyone was like, oh, so...
I don't need an Xbox.
Yeah, like, all the games that were going to come out for Xbox, now I can play on my Windows computer. That's so much stronger and faster than an Xbox One S. Okay, bye. And it's just like, no! Like, as much as I am for compatibility, like, the reason why PlayStation isn't doing that is because they want people to buy their consoles, which is right. Because, you know, you're not only buying into the whole... like console, but you're buying into the whole like environment where you can have friends that are on PlayStation. When you say like every game and everything will be on the PC, like you're taking away business from yourself.
Yeah,
it sucks. But one good thing that Microsoft is announcing.
Oh my god,
Jerry?
Yeah, I hate when you get a burp and you're like, no, stay inside. That's what it is.
Okay.
Xbox has announced that every new Xbox first-party game will be on Game Pass.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Game Pass saves you money.
I'm for it. I love it, but continue, sorry.
Well, look, Game Pass is $8 a month, or like something like that. Game Pass is like a monthly subscription, and I mean, yeah, I guess I could see the sales. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure a lot of the developers are going to be upset with that. Because now I don't have to pay, like, let's just say right now, the newest games, Monster Hunter and Dragon Ball FighterZ. I want both of those games. So instead of spending $120 buying those, I can play them both for $8.
Yeah.
$15.
That's one thing where I was kind of like, okay, Xbox was saying, they were like, well, you know, you might think, okay, spending $8 a month to get all of our games and every new game coming out for free is amazing, but Microsoft is making money from this project, and they're going to be making more money than they did selling physical copies. So I was like, interesting, but then I was thinking, what about the developers? What about those third parties that rely on, you know, a $60 charge so that more money goes to the people that produce the disc for the game, the people that produce the packaging for the game, people that, you know, work in distribution, and, you know, GameStop, that's not even like GameStop, Best Buy, all the strongest sellers of games, like what are they going to do? So it's like, I guess Xbox is kind of thinking for themselves a little bit too much. They did say that they're only doing it for their first-party games, and they'll open it up to third parties when they want to.
Their first-party games? Like which ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Which ones?
I know.
list 5 first-party games.
I'm so annoyed because you see it, speaking of just Xbox being garbage, is... I'm sorry, excuse me.
Wow, it really is garbage, huh?
That's Xbox. Sorry. But, you know, you see these ads for Xbox One X. They have freaking movies. Like, they have an Xbox One X, like, release your true power, and they're showing, like, the movie Alien, and, like, some movies are like, hold on, wait a minute. You're not selling me a $500 Blu-ray player. You're selling me a freaking gaming console. Show me some games. It's just...
We'll show you Minecraft in 4K.
Oh
no.
I just, like, I can't. As much as I know Forza, right? Like, as much as I love, you know, Minecraft and Forza, like, we've seen this game every year. Like, what are you doing differently? Oh, it's in 4K HDR, and now there's shaders in Minecraft.
Check it out. You can do it in VR now.
And speaking of that, like, PlayStation's already on the VR ballgame. It's been already so much that the market is saturated with VR in PlayStation 4. So now you can get like a VR headset for like $300. Xbox hasn't even started selling VR headsets. It's what's gonna happen? Like, I mean, I honestly think if there's no really good first-party games this year, if they don't throw anyone off at E3, we might just be seeing the final steps of Microsoft becoming like a more independent, smaller company like Nintendo was a couple years ago.
Yeah, which is crazy because you know Nintendo was like super low with you know the Wii and the Wii U, which were considered big flops.
Yeah,
which the Wii was. The Wii U, I think, did okay, but in terms of sales, it was a flop.
It almost seems like Xbox has like the wrong people in charge.
Yep.
Because not too long ago, I don't know where we saw this, but it was an ad for like K Jewelers.
Yes.
And it was like buy a ring and get a free Xbox.
Why?
And I was like, Why would
What
you
is the connect? Yes, what is
Who are
the
your
correlation between those two?
audience? Like, why would you market that off to a jewelry store? Like, who's in charge of marketing? Because that's like the worst move ever.
I don't even want to touch on PUBG for Xbox One.
Don't.
It was a disaster.
Yes.
To the point where they're now giving it out for free.
Really?
Okay.
For if you buy an Xbox One X, you're getting it for free.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. So here's the thing about that, because I actually played it on Xbox. If you don't have an Xbox One X, your game runs at like 30 frames
20,
or less.
20,
Yeah.
20 or 25
If you're lucky enough.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. If you,
It will run at 20 to 30 frames per second.
Whose fault is that?
That is ridiculous.
Like,
that is
what happened?
PUBG. That is PUBG
Yeah.
What
though.
happened?
They rushed it.
They rushed the release. If you play it on your PC, great.
It's beautiful, amazing.
It looks great, and the gameplay is a lot funner.
How did this game get nominated again? For Game of the
Because a
Year?
lot of people play it.
Because
Play
people
it.
were already playing it
Look,
for PC.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. I didn't really think it deserved a nomination. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, right now it's the biggest. Like, it's one of the bigger games that's being played. But it's a battle royale, and I feel that battle royales are a trend.
Yeah.
And so, like,
It's gonna die down soon.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna die down very much. So,
It's sad. It's really sad. Like, that was their one shot to make things pretty good, was PUBG, the fact that it's not on PlayStation yet. And it turned into just... I don't even want to, like... think about playing it because it just looks horrible. Like, it's so.
It's
as soon as
pretty
you're
rad.
in the parachute and you're you jump into this big skybox into this big land, and it's not even rendered yet. Like, you're standing and trying to
It's
walk
pretty bad.
up things that are still loading.
And then when the buildings render out, you're just stuck in the floor, just like,
You get
I can't
scared.
get out.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna shoot me. He's right here.
and I found it even funnier too because I was game sharing. My friend was game sharing with me at the time, so I had it and I played it. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's so good! It's super hard!" And da 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 da. My first game, I won.
Oh wow.
wow.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
You know
trying
why?
to vouch
It's
for
because
Xbox.
half-
Can you tell?
yeah,
Half those players are probably like lagged out,
probably.
and it probably died automatically.
Yeah.
So when you play on Xbox, are you also playing with people from like that are playing online at
No,
Oh
PC?
hell no! I would be mad if they did
I would
that.
not play it.
I heard
No.
that was like a concern when the game was
Yeah.
coming out because
Yeah.
you're like you're at a huge disadvantage
Oh
if you're
yeah,
playing against someone
you're playing
that's on PC.
to console, PC has a way better advantage, quicker reaction time, and it's a lot harder for your character, like just in terms of controlling, to move the analog stick like this, and then for it to render that
Like the
motion.
response time,
Yeah, the
yeah.
response time's a lot laggier. Whereas a mouse, like, oh, you're behind me, that, just
Yeah.
like quick, just a quick thing. While with Xbox, it's you got to do that. And then your sensitivity, a bunch of shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
I will say though, I have PUBG on my laptop. It's not a gaming laptop, but it plays a lot better than an Xbox.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
that says a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've and this isn't just an Xbox One S issue. I've seen this game run bad on Xbox One X. I've seen it run okay on Xbox One X.
But
And
see, that's
it's
also another
horrible.
issue where Xbox should have. They don't have like the right people in place because they could have been like, "Hey, the game needs to be at this point, at this time, at this point."
Yeah.
Like, they should have had, standards.
If
for
Nintendo
the
can
game
do it,
to-
I don't know why Microsoft can do it.
Yeah.
Nintendo literally, and I'm pretty sure PlayStation does this too. But I read an article where someone at Rocket League was making someone at Rocket League wanted to do the Nintendo Switch, so they hired like half of the people that were working on like Switch games to go in and help Rocket League make sure that the Switch game ran as perfect and as like great as it possibly could. And I think PlayStation has done that to the past, where it's like okay, these are third parties that obviously have been working on games for PC for so long. They don't know the infrastructure around like an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch. So to see that they're helping them out and these games end up running good, I'm sure Microsoft was like, hey, we need a first party, so if you could get that on this in a couple months,
That'll be great.
well, that'll be great. And please just, give us a download code so we can put on every Xbox One X. And thanks, bye. And what we got was a really horrible experience.
Yep.
And now it's tainted. Like now when people think PUBG on Xbox, they think, oh, a horrible experience that you might as well play on a PC.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like it's enjoyable. Like I had an okay time playing it, and then when I played it with friends, it was fun. But you play a lot of games with friends, it's fun. You can play Goat Simulator with friends.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm saying like it was okay, but to me it was nowhere. Like I still don't see Game of the Year for it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Game of the Year thing was so crazy. Like, we did our predictions, and lots of the Game of the Year games, lots of the Game of the Year predictions we got were so different. Like, I know, Brandon, you were really pushing on Mario Odyssey, which I loved Odyssey, and you were pushing for Persona 5.
It was amazing.
Which I've seen that it's amazing, and I know I was really going for Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it was crazy to see the whole react. And what I do agree with is the fact that the freaking Persona didn't win Best Soundtrack.
Yeah. So about that, actually, Nier Automata is one that won, and I know we got a comment saying that maybe now we'll give it a listen. I listened to the Nier soundtrack for about an hour, but it was like a shortened version, like with the best hits, and it was okay. But here was my thing with why I thought Persona was better. Nier, although the soundtrack was very great and very I have the game now, so I want to play it. My thing with Nier was that it was very atmospheric, so I feel that I have to play the game while hearing the soundtrack to mash it together. Yes. Whereas with Persona, I feel I could listen to it either in game or in the car.
And I could add on to that because I'm not even crazy about Persona, but once I heard that girl hitting those notes, I was like, okay, I need this on my iPhone so I can blast onto it. Like, I don't even I care for the game, but like I haven't even played the game, and I hear that, and I'm like,
it's jazzy.
Like,
actually, I have it on my laptop. I can transfer that to you.
I know. I see the intro on the game. I'm just like, yes, like I want to. Like, I feel, and Odyssey kind of did that too. With the whole Jump Up Superstar.
Yeah. Oh, Jump Up Superstar was great.
If you can incorporate vocals into a game without it sounding like garbage, like that's amazing. Because they could have, they could have messed it up so much. But no, like everyone was like, yes, like this song is so catchy. This song is so great. We love it. It's good.
Yep, I still catch myself singing Jump Up Superstar sometimes.
Oh, I do all the time.
Yep. I love it.
I'm in love with that ending song.
Oh, I know. That one was good too.
That was a good one.
I forgot the words. But it's so good.
Last year was a good year for games.
Yes,
definitely.
2017 was one of the best years in the industry.
It was really
for any console except for Xbox.
I was about to say Xbox.
There's always one. We need that time where like everyone's thriving and like making good stuff.
But you know what? I mean, I'm not a big Xbox fan, but I do hope they bounce back the way Nintendo did.
Yeah, I'm pushing for them. Like Jerry too. I'm sure you can agree. But we grew up playing Xbox. Yeah. Like that was the first system that we both got, and we were like super passionate about it. And that's kind of what branched off like me to play like
more games.
Yeah. Like
I'm staring at my Xbox One S right now in the eye, and I just see potential that is waiting for it's waiting for the future of this company to get their crap together. It's sad.
And it sucks because seeing you, I know we're like running out of time, but your Xbox, you bought it and you were super excited, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well.
It doesn't work. And
I don't even think it's a software thing. I think it's like it's a bad system.
Here's the thing. I don't know what's happening with me and Xbox. We have like a love-hate relationship. I had the original Xbox One I got on launch day. It literally didn't work for the whole time. Like, I would turn it on, not connect to internet. I connect to internet. It would connect me to internet, but then as soon as I started playing an online game, it would like let me inside and play multiplayer, and then it would just kick me out and say, you don't even have Jerry Galindo as a user. We deleted it. Good luck trying to get your saves back. So I was like, okay, I'll work with you. So, we had this love affair where I was like, okay, are you going to work today? And then when I got back from E3 2016, I was like, hey, we saw so many Xbox games. I'm excited. I'm going to trade in my old one for a new one. So I got the S that was just announced.
And it's like this
1 terabyte, beautiful game, beautiful console. It looks hot, and then I turn it on, and it turns out to be a complete moron. Like, it's so weird,
because I would see you play your system, and mine worked perfectly.
Yeah, yours works perfectly.
It's so old, and it's been working, like, perfectly. And I'm like, what are you doing to your system?
I have had my Xbox tell me 2 times, it's told me 5 times, like, hey, there's no hard drive inside of me, or hey, you don't have a network card, so we don't even know how to connect to internet. And then just a couple weeks ago, it gave me Destiny 2 and Fusion Frenzy for free. I don't play neither of those games, so it's been interesting trying to, tell my Xbox I love her, and she kind of just doesn't care about it. She's trying really hard. I mean, I'm scared to turn it on right now. It might just say that, hello, welcome to Xbox, select your language, because I'm just waiting for that. Honestly, I don't know what's happening. Do I have to get an Xbox One X? I can just imagine what's going to happen. I'm probably going to turn it on. It's going to give me like 360 by 360. It's not even going to show me the 4K.
It's going to give me the first Xbox intro.
Yeah, it's going to show me the 360 interface, and I'll probably deal with it because I'm so loyal. But it's crazy. It's like it's a curse that's running with me.
It really is.
I don't know what's happening.
It's just with your Xbox.
It's just my Xbox. It's like, honestly,
I don't understand.
I could get one that works perfectly, and as soon as I turn it on and sign it into my account, it'll just break automatically.
That's funny.
Oh well, it's mad at me because I'm talking about it negatively. But I think we're all full, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a slow eater, so I'm actually still
good. I'm good.
I'm fine.
But it was very good.
I couldn't eat all my nuggets, but I did eat my burger. I was about to say burger.
You go through all the topics.
Excuse me. my burger. I meant to say nugget and burger. How did you all like your food?
It was good. I mean, I'm not big on
How did you
We had to
McDonald's.
convince Brandon to do this video because he doesn't eat fast food, but he took
He's
one for
healthy.
the team.
Yeah, how much did you eat?
He ate a whole
I quite a
nugget.
bit.
You eat all 10 nuggets?
Yeah.
Good
He's
job,
gonna go
Brandon.
throw. He's gonna go throw
Oh
up.
my god, yeah. Good
No, I mean, it's,
throat.
I'm getting pretty clean, so I
Yeah,
can
me
deserve
too.
it.
I can have one
I
binge
haven't
day.
drunk in a soft drink in years, so it's
Yeah,
interesting.
we eat
I have
pretty
water,
good throughout
so-
the week. So
I haven't drunk in a soft drink since like yesterday, so.
Yeah. This is like the third day in a row I'm eating chicken.
Yeah, I mean,
Lovely.
come on. This isn't chicken though. This is like
I know, but still, like
this
something
is
chicken.
like an alien's uterus
Yeah.
or something like that.
Something like that. Who cares?
I
So
just
did
had
we
sweet
get
sour chicken
through
last
all
night.
our topics today?
Yeah, so we talked
does
about
anyone have any final?
topics you want to talk
conclusions
Brian?
to this
Oh,
mukbang?
do you guys want? You guys heard my teacher story, right?
I told them.
Yeah. So for those of you who
Sum
don't,
it up for the
yeah,
audience.
Yeah.
So basically, my teacher got after me and pretty much roasted me for helping another student in her class. So my teacher has a very thick accent.
What kind of accent?
I'm not sure. I would say European
Hot.
because she's. I mean, I would guess because I know she's foreign. But I would if I'd say her race, it would be white.
Okay.
Like, so I would guess that she's European, based off that.
Is she attractive?
And she's old.
So,
Like maybe it'd make it better
yes.
if she was like
Yeah.
hot, but you couldn't understand her.
Because then you're just
Yeah.
like, yes, spank me.
No, God, Jared, no. So, anyway, she's going over the stuff in class, and with her accent's very thick, so sometimes it's hard to understand her. But of course, I don't want to be that guy. Like, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? So I was like, whatever. So
Google
she would go on with her. She would go on with the lecture. And as she went on, I would like kind of go back and like, okay, this is what she's saying. Okay, we're here. I would figure this stuff out. And so it essentially got to the point where my classmate next to me was like, I don't know what's going on. What are we doing? He's
my
like,
gosh.
how'd you get that answer? Like, what's going on? I'm like, look, man, it's simple. This, you do this, da, 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 da. And I was explaining it to him. And then he's like, oh, okay. And I look up, and the rest of the class is staring at me. And so is the teacher. I guess they just stopped talking and just were listening to me. So the whole class is just staring. I'm like, okay, like, I understand I was talking in class, but I was talking about the subject at hand. It's
Yeah.
not like I was like, hey, what movie did you watch? Or,
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
go do this after class. Like, no, it's just, I was talking about the same thing. And the teacher looks at me like, you're helping him with the problem? I was like, oh yeah, he didn't really understand it. And the teacher then looks at my classmate and tells him, and in front of everyone in class, next time you need help, ask me. I have the PhD, not him.
Oh my
And
god.
points at me, and I'm like, what did I do? Like, I was helping him. I wasn't being an ass about it. He legit needed help.
Yeah, that's messed up.
You should have called her out for not.
I would have been
speaking
like,
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, excuse me, it's not my fault your voice sounds retarded.
I don't want to be kicked out of class.
I'm trying to help
I need that
I'm
class.
trying to make your job easier by helping this kid that obviously can't understand your Russian,
European.
German,
European.
European accent.
accent. Sorry, and
Yeah.
Call me. Call me because I am a naughty boy.
I'm just assuming she's European.
That's messed up,
but-
though. Like, you're trying to help a kid.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Tell me this t-shirt.
no, you want
Oh God!
No,
Raising
you
the
want
raise hell for you. Act
and
like
the
you're
reason
dad.
it upsets me
Your
so
mom.
much
Your dad.
is that I'm a business major, and even in class, she wants us to be business professional, and so like we have a project due, and she has all these guidelines for our paper. It's like, oh, you have a run-on sentence, minus 5 points. You have a run-on paragraph, minus 5 points. You have a one-sentence paragraph, minus 5 points.
Oh my God.
You write etc. or, like shortened words like that, minus 1 point each word. Like, all these very specific guidelines because she wants our paper to be, professional. Mm-hmm. And yet she goes on and just rudely calls someone else like that. Like, that's...
Unprofessional.
Yeah, that's very unprofessional.
Yeah. Just say, like, I have the PhD. It's like, well, like, you know,
Or, like, what are we talking about? Are we trying to measure dicks here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, my friend
Measuring
Fernie,
clitoris.
he's like, my friend Fernie, he's like, you should have talked to her. You should have talked back. I'm like, I don't want to cause scenes. Like, no, you should have stood him. Like, you know what, miss? I have a PhD too. And he's like, well, I don't. He's like, no, just be like, I have a PhD, pretty huge dick. I was like,
Okay, all right.
yeah. And then I was like, dude,
Just
just
walked
like,
out.
dude, just. All right, what's your name?
Yeah.
All right, you're dropped.
Bad,
You're dropped.
yeah,
Get out.
Bad
Okay.
from the university.
Yeah, so I was like, but I mean, at the same time, I'm like, dude, what the hell? It's been like 2 days since it's happened, and I'm still upset about it.
That's horrible.
It's super unprofessional.
No, it's not
You
very
tell
nice.
me, after this podcast, you tell me the name of that professor.
I will
Oh,
find
God.
it for you. I'll go on my
ruin them.
blackboard.
I have had the dean do stuff for me, and I can get that professor.
Yes.
I can get that professor
I
knocked out.
want to see a follow
No,
to
no,
this.
Yeah.
we're gonna do it after the semester's over, though.
Yeah.
After, because I don't
Well,
want it to come back to me while I'm in the
I'll do it
class.
tomorrow. I'll put some anthrax on your desk. I'm just joking. Love the Europeans. So I think that's it. I think
Yeah.
we're all full. I think we're all really, really satisfied with this meal. Thank you, Lord. Thanks, McDonald's.
Jerry, good
sponsor.
job on your first host.
Yay.
Thank you.
Even though you burped like half of it.
Yes, but that's all we were
That's part
talking.
of the mukbang, right?
It was part of the Microsoft talk,
It's
you know.
part of the,
I don't
it's
think.
part of the
it's garbage.
ASMR.
It didn't settle well.
Yeah,
The talk.
talking about Microsoft kind of got me a little disgusted. But I think we're good. I think we all had a really good meal, had a lot of good topics, and I think
This is the first time we've all done a video together too, right?
How's you behind scenes?
Yeah.
I've always been behind the camera.
Kyle's usually
And
on
on the
the
laptop.
TV.
and now you're behind the nugget.
Congratulations. Come on, guys. Round of applause for
All right.
Kyle. Good job.
Okay.
All right, so that should be it for this episode. And if you all want more MUKBANGs, go ahead and smash that like button
Oh,
and
God.
Smash that subscribe
Smash
button.
that subscribe button too.
We're
And-
waiting for 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Please don't.
Comment what you want.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
So
comment.
comment.
Let us know
Shut
what you
up.
want to see next.
Yes, and if you can, send us a promo code so we can.
If we get
buy
enough
it.
likes, we'll
What if
do.
they asked us to eat Tide Pods?
Yeah, I know.
No.
I have eaten a whole bag.
I'm not opposing to it. If we get enough likes, we'll do a Taco Bell mukbang.
And I will.
I hate
I
and
love.
we'll all fight for our one restroom.
Yeah, well, I'll just do it on this table. So,
Gross.
uh,
Alright,
We gotta get.
Okay.
We gotta talk
Let's
about
wrap
and
up.
Mountain Dew with the
No.
Doritos
No,
Locos.
no,
yes,
no, no.
I have a
I
blender.
can't, no.
They have those Mountain Dew
Oh.
slushies.
We-
I can compromise with
So
McDonald's. I can't. No, not with that. I'm sorry. That's out of the question for
Same
me.
here. I do not want that from
No.
It's
Taco
okay,
Bell.
we'll get you a salad and we'll all
Actually,
get
you
Taco
know what? We should
Bell.
do like challenges for each other in the upcoming videos, and then that's a penalty for the person.
Okay, that's all
Just
the
one-
good
that's
stuff
all, yeah.
that we want in the
Yes.
future.
Wrap up.
I think that should be it.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.